It is hard to believe that a year has passed since I was on this stage and we raised an incredible $89,000. The money allowed us to purchase a state-of-the-art piece of equipment and train 2 new on-call forensic nurses. And thank you for all of you that are here that made that possible. We have reached and provided services to 752 patients since January 2014. So many patients and a subject matter that is so painful. But we need to stop and remember that behind each number is someone with a name, a personality, a story, and dreams no different than ours and those of our children. The mission of the Fort Wayne Sexual Assault Treatment Center is to be the most respected and trusted resource for providing superior medical forensic care, education, and research in bringing justice to those impacted by sexual assault. We are a not-for-profit freestanding clinic that opened our doors in 1996. We were the first in Indiana, the first in the Midwest, and we're the only recognized and credentialed providers of the medical forensic exam for 16 counties and almost 1 million people. Our youngest patient, 37 days old, our oldest, 94. Our role as nurses is to explain the healthcare options to our patients, perform the medical forensic exam, collect the DNA evidence, provide treatment, and testify in the court of law. And all of these services are at no cost to our patients. But really, the most important thing that we do is to sit with our patients and we tell them this is not your fault, you are not damaged goods, and you did not do anything wrong. We bring the forensic science and compassion to our patients. When preparing what to say tonight, I was deeply bothered that I did not have a lot of positive things to report to you. We've all seen the news with military rapes, college rapes, high school teachers molesting their students, and children dying in the hand of their parents. And as if that wasn't enough, Joyce and I just attended an international conference where the keynote was almost depressing, but his message was very clear. That patients' children who did not receive care that were molested by trained medical forensic professionals were almost certain to have negative, lifelong consequences as adults. We have a healthcare crisis, a silent and violent epidemic, and most of society continues to look the other way. I'm not going to share a lot of stats with you, but there are a few I want to share. 1 in 5 female college students are raped by the end of their sophomore year, but fewer than 12% will ever report. 1 in 4 girls, 1 in 6 boys are sexually abused before they're 18. That's 11,777 girls and 6,066 boys in Allen County alone. At our center, 58% of our patients are children, and only 5 to 10% of the child victims will tell while the abuse is happening. There is 1 victim of sexual assault every 2 minutes, and astounding, the average pedophile will molest 117 children in his lifetime. Child abuse, rape, is not a cold, it's not a misunderstanding, it's not a private matter, it's not anyone's right, and it is never a child's fault. It is a crime. Society continues the victim blaming, which brutally silences survivors of rape who live in the shadows and in shame and in guilt. I read an editorial a few weeks ago by Reverend McGill of the Fort Wayne Baptist Church, and I want to share one of his profound statements with you. As someone who suffered in silence for years from the stain of an aunt's molestation, I know how stifling it is to live with years of internal agitation. While externally I survived, and in some areas even thrived, there was a corner of my inner existence that functionally died. Tell me, how would you answer the 7-year-old who says, why do I have to leave my house? Why does mommy cry all the time and say it's my fault? I think it would have been better to have lied and said daddy never touched me. How does she get handed the life sentence? Or how do you respond to the 9-year-old who says, is there something wrong with me? It must be disgusting, and that is why God is punishing me. She was molested by her dad and then her pastor. Or how would you convince the family of a different culture that their 8-year-old daughter, molested by their pediatrician, is still worthy of being part of the family, that she's not a disgrace, and please don't isolate and blame her. Or would you be able to hold the hand of a woman whose eyes tell the story of unbearable, incomprehensible grief because she walked in on her husband molesting her 4-year-old daughter? She stabbed him 4 times. He's fighting for his life, and she was praying to God he dies. Imagine being the nurse caring for a woman who was beaten and raped by her ex-husband. After years, she finally finds the strength to report. During the exam, she's pulled from the room, and she's told that the ex had kidnapped the patient's mother and her child and killed them both. Please tell me what words you would say. Finally, hearing the words, we, the jury, do find the defendant guilty of a Class A felony child molest, and then hear the screams of pain and agony from both sides, because the victim and the defendants both have been impacted and forever changed. Oh yes, justice has been served, but there are never any winners. Tonight's event is for the over 5,000 victims that we have seen at our center, and the thousands upon thousands who have come or called and made the difficult decision that they could not report. And it's for the 1 in 4 women and the 1 in 6 men in this audience who've had your innocence stolen, your cries and words muffled, and for the 45% of the women who never tell anyone. We honor your tears that have never dried. May the rest of us never again turn a blind eye to the suffering and injustices done to women, men, and children. We need to have the courage to take a stand, to listen, to speak, and defend our most vulnerable. May we all work for justice for all, and especially for our children, those of today and those waiting to be born. Friends of nurses do make a difference. Every exam opens the door to the possibility of collecting evidence that might assist to convict a child molester or rapist, and which is just as important to us, collect the DNA that would exonerate an innocent man. This is so much more than a job to us. It is our calling. As a not-for-profit, we rely on grants, fundraisers, donations, and more importantly, the support of the communities we serve. I'm reminded daily that if you want to do something important enough, it does not come without a cost. By attending tonight, you are ensuring that we can continue to be the most respected and trusted resource for medical forensic care. And on behalf of our entire staff and our board of directors, I thank you from the bottom of my soul. And God's blessings on you.